and welcome. I'm Kayla Green of News 4 Brockport, and I'm here with Otega Robinson, who is the owner of the company Blacklisted USA. So I just want to kind of get to know you and your company a little bit. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself to start off?
Well, I'm a senior here at the College of Brockport. I'm a finance major. I'm really heavy into fashion and helping out, small business people, whether it's music, art, creative expression.
You said you're interested in small businesses, so what really made you want to make your own company?
Well, I have this philosophy where I'd rather work 100 hours for myself than 40 hours for someone else. And I also had this philosophy where it doesn't matter how much success I gain as a person, if I don't impact someone else's life every step of the way I go, I feel like I lived an empty life.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So what does your company exactly do? Like, kind of just lay it out for us.
So what we do right now is we seek the talent. So we seek designers, clothing brands, people that have talent and work on their craft every day, and like it's apparent that the skill is there, but the exposure isn't. And the number one thing that I always thought of every time I see a small business that I feel like should be bigger than what they are is their brand. And it's like the one difference between their clothes, well, not the one, but the differences between multiple brand clothes is that like they would have an unknown brand relative to like a Marc Jacobs or a Polo Ralph Lauren. Like if you were to replace that logo with their clothes, it would sell at a way higher rate. And I wanted to create something that was as big as that brand, but gave them 100% control over their own product. Because the reason why they go into stuff like this is so that they have control over their stuff. And I just wanted to be able to provide that platform. So just continue to build, continue to network, continue to work with these talented individuals and watch their brand grow. And as they grow, I grow.
Okay, so what's the process? Like, how do you take a small local person like this, a business, and take it in and really want to foster it? Like, how do you find these people? And
well, through networking. Like one person that I met this summer, his name is Umbre. He's the owner of the Black Dollars Matters movement. And I met him through a conference, like through a mutual friend. And we were just talking. We were talking about what we did, and it just came up. And I remember, like later this summer, because I started working on the company this summer. I remember later this summer, I reached out to him. I was like, "Would you like to be featured on the site?" Now, Umbre already has a large, he already has a large following off of his brand. I think he was featured in the Shade Room. Like he has news reports. He's built a large following, but at the same time, he's still a relatively small. He just has certain levels of exposure. So I spoke to him. He was on board with the mission. He really liked what Blacklisted was about, and I got him on board. Other people like Exclusive Clothing. I think this one is interesting. We followed each other on Instagram for like years, and it's like I always saw her clothing, and I always saw it as like, this is different. Like this is something that's one, different, two, is unique. So I reached out to her. I explained it. We had a couple of phone conversations, and she was on board with it too. Other people I know personally, like the Love More brand, She New York, those were easy because I already built a relationship with them, and I just started networking from there.
great. So it sounds like these people, so they have their own brand, but it also goes a lot into their own story. So have you kind of found like some interesting stories behind why people started these businesses?
I would probably say one of the most interesting would be She New York. It's basically founded by all guys, and it's like their whole mission statement is not only to reinvent like fashion and style and stuff like that, but is geared towards empowerment of women. And I found that dope. One, because it's not a women's clothing brand. I mean, it's unisex. They make clothes for both men and women. But the fact of the matter is that a panel of, I think it's 6 of them, 6 individuals, started and have their whole brand with the underlying factor of empowering women, and that was dope to me.
Yeah, that's incredible. So how long, you said you started the business over the summer, right? So how's it been going? Has it really taken off, or?
So I thought of the idea in the summer, and I was working on how would I go about it, what do I need, and I just started talking to people. I started getting certain people's input about it, and I started building a mission statement. Then the thing about it was I didn't want to really launch the business without having, a significant amount of designers or people under the brand. And so the first thing I did was I made the Instagram page, and I just continually posted on the story, like art, clothing, quotes, music, stuff like that. And then I had certain people share it, and then it started gaining traction. So before I even posted a picture, I think I already had probably 8,000 followers or something like that. And then after, I think I spoke to Exclusive because I was talking to my creative director, Paul Waynes. Well, I call him Paulie. But I spoke to him and I was like, I feel like this one picture could really blow up. Because it was a picture of one of her dresses, and I think the woman, the model, was wearing a dress and she was sitting on a all-white Lamborghini, and it was a all-white dress, or it was a silver dress. And I was like, this could potentially blow up. So with already the 8,000, I posted that as the first picture. Introduced the brand, Exclusive, talked about it, gave a quote. I forgot what quote it was because I'm always reading quotes. But gave a quote, and it started to gain traction. Certain people started to share it. I think within the first launch of that, which was about 3.5 weeks ago. That's crazy. 3.5 weeks ago. I think within the first hour, I got like 250 followers. The picture gained over 1,000 likes, and it was just shared multiple times. And then once that happened, I was like, okay, there's something I could continue with. So I started reaching out to other brands, started building the page up, so like surely like a picture a day. And then one picture or one post that really blew up was, I know I work with designers, but I also work with like artists, photographers, musicians. And this one artist, he's known as Left-Handed Bandit. He's based in Buffalo. And he came to the college a couple of times, and I just saw some of his work. He does like body painting, and like he does everything. He dabbles in everything. And I just thought it was really dope. And so I reached out to him. I spoke to him. I was like, yeah, I would like to have you featured on my site because, I really like your artwork and how you go about everything. And he was like, sure. So he sent me a couple of his pieces, and he sent me this one particular video of him like painting, doing a portrait of a woman. And it was like a time lapse. And I was like, yo, this is dope. So I used that, and then I featured him on the site, told everyone who he was, what he did for a living, what type of art he does, and I showcased some of his art. And I think he told me as soon as that post went up, that post really blew up. So that post went viral. It has like, I think 1,500 likes. And then he was gaining followers and more requests for his artwork. And then he hit me up the following day, and he was like, yo, I just want to say thank you. I was like, why? He was like, after that post, it was like he got so many new followers and new people following his movement and what he does. And from that standpoint, I really thought like, okay, this is something that I feel like can make a difference. This is something that can really grow, like empowering these people that, they have talent. Like the talent is there. Like the talent is there, it's just the exposure. The brand is there, it's just no one knows the brand. And it's like, once you put that brand in people's light and understand, yo, this is what it is, this is what they do, and more people see it, and more people can follow it, more people feel it, and it just helps give the recognition that they are rightfully supposed to have. And I wanted to build a community of it because I wanted Blacklisted USA to be the one place you go to for one, just dope designers, like people that have talent, you know, elite group of designers, you know, stuff that you don't see every day, stuff that you can't walk down the street and see someone else wearing. And when building that community, I also wanted artists, you know, from time to time, like art, like creativity just stimulates growth, and I really believe that. And art is just something beautiful. So get artists, music, but I didn't want to go into, you know, pop music, stuff that's mainstream. I wanted, you know, that violinist that you hear in the subway station, or that one dude that sings at the corner, or you know, somebody that you pass by every day, but you don't take a second to sit and really listen to them. And you know, I want that to build a community because I feel like united we stand, divided we fall, and I really believe that. And I feel like the more we build that community of, you know, small business designers, of clothing brands, of artists, of musicians, the more power we have, because now we're one instead of being scattered all over the place.
Right, yeah. I think the mission is amazing. Like, I think it's great, and I think it's something that will definitely take off more. I mean, people want to be recognized and to be like all one big group like that. That's a good approach for it. But if people want to get involved, how can they get involved? How can they reach out to you? What are you on? How does it work?
If they know me personally, you know, you can reach out to me on my personal page, or what they can do is, what I will see is go on to Blacklisted USA on Instagram, and you know, follow the page, email the page, or DM the page, or tag, is it blacklisted? I'll always see that because the only tags under that is blacklisted clothing. Or, you know, find a way to just reach me on that page, and I'll make sure I see it.
Okay, great. So is there anything else that you want people to know? Anything else you want to add?
Follow Blacklisted USA, and just watch the growth.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.